Hi YouTube. Today I'm going to talk about or tonight I'm going to talk about the fight between Carl Froch and Andre Ward. I thought it was a pretty good fight. The fight just ended about an hour ago with Ward winning a 12-round unanimous decision. Um, I'll just jump into it. I thought it was a pretty good fight in the beginning. Andre was, boxing nicely, using nice jabs, nice feints, and he was stepping on the inside pretty nicely and doing a lot of close infighting, going to the body wall, going to the head pretty good as well. And I thought he was just right on Carl Froch. And first round was a good round for him. Second round was more of the same. What was pretty intriguing in the fight is that Andre started to walk him down. Basically, a lot of people probably thought he'd, do a little bit more boxing, circling. You know, Perhaps a lot of people thought he'd be on his toes more, but he was just walking him down, jabbing, going to the body, stepping in, fighting in close. Just close quarters fight. At times it would move away. And I just thought that he was doing a good job. He had a pretty good game plan, and he stuck to it pretty well. The fight was pretty. It was the same pattern from like the first to about round five, but midway in round five, Carl Froch seemed like that seemed like his best round at that point. He was he started to land more punches. He threw a lot more punches than Ward did, but that round in particular was the first round that he looked a lot better than the previous round. One thing about Froch in the fight is that um, he loses his footing pretty easily. So when he throws the right hand, he squares up, and I thought the left jab and the left hook that Andre was throwing was getting to the target pretty good as well. So the fight just basically consisted of a lot of close infighting. I thought Andre did a good job of that. It was a pretty one-sided fight in my eyes, and I didn't think it was going to be too close to begin with. But I think that Carl, he had his moments when he did better than I expected him to. He didn't just lay down, especially in about round eight. I believe he hit Andre after the belt, and when that happened, I thought, okay, perhaps it's gonna be a dirty fight. It's gonna end in disqualification or something like that. But that was just a one shot thing. And in round 11, he had a really good round. He was throwing a lot of punches, a lot of hard punches. I think he hurt Andre. He hurt Andre about one time in round 11. So I saw when he hit him. It was a good shot. I believe it was a left hook, and he was just throwing wild punches in the last round. Also, he went for broke. He held nothing back. Um, and I believe he did about as good as he was gonna do. I thought coming into the fight it'd be 11th round stoppage. I thought basically Ward would, I didn't think he'd knock him out cold or anything like that. But I thought he'd stop him perhaps on cuts or just overwhelm him with his skill level. Carl Froch is a pretty good fighter, and it showed well. But Andre Ward deserved to win the fight. It was a good fight. It was a good fight, and it was 2 years for the Super Six, and now I think perhaps there's a lot of people want to know, like, oh, is he gonna fight Butte now that he won the Super Six? But personally, I don't think they should fight Butte. I think Butte needs to up his level of opposition um, significantly because he, he beat Glenn Johnson, he beat Edison Miranda, he beat Brian McGee. These guys in the Super Six aren't fighting Brian McGee. One goes from fighting Andre Ward to fighting Carl Froch, to fighting Mikhail Kessler, to fighting Andre Durrell, to fighting Glenn Johnson. Glenn Johnson's a little faded now, but I think, all in all, I don't know. I'd like to see him fight Andre Durrell. I think they're two young guys. They both went to the Olympics together, and that should be a good fight. Carl Froch, I think, maybe he might want to fight. He might want to fight Nathan Cleverly, in the UK. But I thought, all in all, I thought it was a very good fight. I thought both fighters, they represented themselves very well, especially in the post-fight interview. I didn't think Carl Froch was gonna give Andre Ward any credit. I just basically thought he was gonna, downplay what he did, downplay his accomplishments. But he didn't do that. He showed great class. They both showed great class. It was a good fight. And, lately, a lot of the fights haven't really lived up to expectations. A lot of the good fights, big fights. But I thought it was a pretty good fight. Andre stuck to his game plan. He executed it well. He was too much for Carl Froch. Maybe Carl Froch fights cleverly, grows the gal. I don't want him to fight Bute either, because I don't think Bute deserves a shot at either one of those guys. So perhaps another pretty exciting fight between Carl Froch and Jean Pascal. Maybe it'll happen in Canada. Maybe it'll happen in the UK. I don't know, because lately you don't want to fight. Uh, you don't want to fight in your opponent's home, so maybe a neutral location. But most perfect sense would be between the UK and Canada, because everywhere else, 16,000, 20,000 people aren't gonna show up. Um, Andre Warren, he's a good fighter. I believe. Hopefully now people start giving him the credit that he deserves. He's an Olympic medalist, gold medalist for a reason, and I believe he showed his skill tonight. And basically, that's all I have to say about the fight. It was a close fight. Actually, it wasn't a close fight. It was a good fight, but it was one sided in the favor of Ward. And I hope to hear your comments. And that's about it. Thank you. Good night.